Let's dive in, baby. Welcome back to the RADCast 2026.
Let's go. New Year 2026 edition.
We are back in action. What's up, boys?
What's up?
Great to see you, man.
See you,
Good to see
E-Dog.
You guys. So good to be back. A lot to reflect on, a lot to talk about today.
Yes.
2025, a year in review. A lot of things happened. And we're going to go over all of that, talk about 2026, what the future looks like. We've got all sorts of stuff lined up today, but I don't know. You guys got any like New Year's stuff? Any like improvements, resolutions, things? What are we trying to do better in 2026?
I want to take some music singing lessons, like specifically. Like,
Nice.
that'd be good. I feel like
My
it's
calendar is actually open. So
if you want to sync up, all right, perfect. I'll
got
ring you up, man.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good one. I feel like it's the weakest part of my performing as an artist, or some way. Like
don't talk about
like
yourself
my guitar.
that way.
No, it's fine. I mean,
You're a great singer.
No.
thank you. I appreciate it. I'd like.
It's okay to acknowledge it's kind of
I would like to get.
stereotype in our
Yeah,
scene.
I think there's pieces of where I sing well, like in the studio and recording here with Logan. I feel like a lot more comfortable singing, but like singing live on stage and performing and playing the guitar in front of a group is challenging just because you get ramped up. So I feel like I'm like grasping for notes that I could typically hit, but I'm like, I don't know. I think there's just some things that I could learn from a
Tight.
professional that would be really, really helpful.
I'm guessing when you're on stage too, you're a little more amplified. The adrenaline's going. The breath
Yeah.
is maybe a little shorter than when
Yeah.
you're just chilling.
And you see people you like, you love out there,
Yeah.
So you just start smiling and laughing, and they
Yeah.
start making faces at you, and
I love that.
yeah, it is fun. But I'll like then come out of the top of a jam and just be like, as Kevin likes to put it, yelling the lyrics to like coffee beans. You know what I mean? And it's fun live, but it just doesn't record well. And that's another thing that like I'm really wanting us to like focus in on as a band this next year in 2026 is like a resolution is like how well does the performance of the show sound when you listen to it back? Because some of it's good, but like some of the shows are also like just going back and listening to a few because we're doing the year review. I'm like, man, I love this show live, but it just doesn't like listen back as well. And I think if we're intentional about that, that could be kind of cool. Those are my few. They went right to music. There's other ones too. I'll learn
That's
Spanish.
okay.
Going to Mexico and sucking at Spanish was really embarrassing, especially next to Jimmy.
Yeah.
He's great at it.
Well, it's funny that these are two of your things because at the start of this year, I bought a language app, Babbel. I got a subscription year for that. And I've been on a singing lesson app that I've been doing for a couple
Whoa.
months.
I know about the singing
as
lesson
well.
app, I think.
So he's one up to you, basically.
Yes, put your money
He
where your
loves-
mouth
he
is.
loves to
Is
do
what I'm
that.
saying.
Yeah.
Have I opened the language app since I got it?
Yeah.
No.
Or
Was
the
it very
singing- or the
impulsive?
singing
Or the sing-
app?
yeah.
Did I buy it?
How many times have you opened the singing app, sir?
For a while there, every day for like a month.
Nice.
And it definitely improved me a certain amount.
I
And
think
then
I gotta
kinda fell
log
off
it,
on
and
but-
I'd have to go full logging, have like a teacher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In real life, IRL.
Let's see.
I
Get it out.
Go ahead.
I thought you were saying let's see to me. I misread
No, yeah,
your,
no, I
your
was.
eyes.
Passing it off to Matt. What do you got for us? New Year's resolution.
Well, I'll keep it in the music lane. I think that's beautiful what you guys both just said.
Oh.
And I
Nice.
I think it's in the vein of like stay curious, right? You're never too old
Yeah.
to
Oh, yeah.
learn something new or to find a new hobby or to find a new creative outlet.
Totally.
Preach, bro.
And it's also a good reminder that you can lean into it by getting serious and learning something
Yeah.
from somebody, right?
Yeah, totally.
I love
How
when
with
Matt
the
gets
wisdom I know he
he gets wholesome every once in a
yeah,
while.
I know.
love
yeah.
it. I
And,
love
it
it. Was
just, you
so
and everybody just pays
authentic.
attention.
Yeah.
you
That was
know?
beautiful.
Takes
But-
the room.
I mean, to kind of play off on that and kind of go into something else we're going to talk about. I mean, to your point, like it creates that sort of natural evolution all the time when everyone in the band is constantly tweaking their gear, their tone,
Yep.
whatever, getting a new pedal, changing it up. Like each individual is always wanting to change their sound a little bit. You're just never complacent with it. Like there's always like, oh, what new kind of crazy thing could I add in here? And
The quest.
so, I mean,
The quest for tone.
I think we were going to talk a little bit about some of the
Yeah.
gear changes over 2025, and maybe that's a good segue into that. But real quick before we do that, let me just read off some stats I got here in front of me
Ooh.
from 2025. Real
Wait,
quick.
where are you getting these stats from?
Oh
Jimmy?
my God.
bro!
Whoa.
What are these stats about?
Radnotes.net.
Dot
Oh
net.
my
By the
God,
fans, for the
Radnotes.
fans.
If you
baby.
if you have the ability to project a video right now, perhaps you would like
What
to
is it?
go to radnotes.net. So the people out there know there's a
We're the first band to ever do this. These
Yeah,
are the
dude.
facts.
we're tracking sets, tracking songs.
This wasn't created for jam bands specifically.
Yeah,
by
we're not
jams.
consuming
Jimmy
a
built
back end
this.
that's being used by every famous band out there. But no, I mean it's fun. Obviously, if you're really into a band, you already know about these. It's fun to go diving and exploring and look at all the stats and
Yeah,
stuff.
look at
and
this. We've got set lists, venues, shows, all sorts of different information on here. Releases, debuts.
yeah, and you can create an account and then track all the stuff for yourself. So
Ooh.
yeah, we got some people on there tracking stuff.
Add your shows.
Give us
Yeah,
some.
maybe
give us
build
some
your dream
stats.
set list.
Give us some stats, Jimmy. Since we're doing the annual
Yeah.
review here, let's get some 2025 stats.
Yeah, so this doesn't have every show we played, so it's not quite like it says we played 40 shows, but I think it was more like 50. But 455 songs played, including 70
Total songs.
total songs played for the
Wow.
year.
Damn.
75 unique songs, 44 originals, 24 covers.
What makes a song unique? Like what would
As in
Singular.
An original.
75 different songs that we
Gotcha,
played.
Gotcha.
We played them
Total.
455, times. But and then let's see, 40 venues, 15 states, 4 tours. So yeah, we got after it. Some of our
15
most extensive
states.
touring
Damn.
to date.
Yeah, it was a huge year for you guys. I mean, I don't know if we want to dive in right now or save them, but there's some heavy show of the year, song of the year candidates that we're gonna kind of recap.
I
and
just want to
listen
say there was a few stats you missed. We
Mhm.
had 2 Suburbans that we went through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
And
Shout out to
and
Bessie.
R.I.P. Bessie.
Bessie. Now we got
And
Bowser.
we also had the unique and special privilege of playing with 2 drummers this year, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true.
Yep.
That is true. What is what was the most played song?
You want
Je-
to guess? You
Yeah.
probably can guess the top 2.
All right.
Let's hear it.
T.
Yep. Tied with?
Eggs.
Correct.
Without a doubt. What would Benny always say in the bag?
Let's give
We'd be
him
like, what
eggs.
song do you want to play? Let's give
Let's
him
give him
eggs. Eggs? Should we give him eggs?
Let's give him eggs.
Give him eggs. And gave him eggs. We did.
To the point, there's definitely like a
No more. There were no more eggs to give after a certain
no.
moment.
It's nice. The sellers kind of naturally cycle themselves because at some point you're like, all right, I can't play that for like 5 shows.
Yeah,
'cause
for
it's
sure.
driving me crazy.
But there were some big ones of those. Oddly, not on the songs of the year
Mm-hmm.
list that we inquired for by a group
Mhm.
of our close associates.
Before we dive into kind of, I think, the show of the year, jam of the year,
Yeah,
one
yeah.
topic I wanted to maybe ask you guys or get your opinion. Obviously, you guys always are throwing in some covers. What were some covers that you guys dug into this year that you thought hit the hardest, that you guys enjoyed playing? I have maybe a deep cut, but I'd like to hear your, because I'm not
Ooh.
sure how much it's gotten played. I know
You
but
first. You first.
No, that would be fun. Yeah, let's hear it.
It was K-Mac singing the Gwen Stefani.
Hella good.
way.
Hella
Hella
good,
good.
dude. And
Wow.
and-
Wow.
K-Mac
That is
on
a
anything vocals is
yeah,
pretty, is an
it was
instant.
awesome, and I don't know if
Wow.
it ever like that might have been the only time he played it. I'm not sure.
I think it got lost in the drummer transition. To be honest,
and
I
that's
think
fair. I love his
I thought-
vocals.
yeah, that's
It could make
that's
a
so
comeback.
funny
That's a good
because
one.
that's one of those ones
That's a
where
deep cut
it's-
for sure.
Totally.
I like it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. Really.
Oh, I
I
thought it
thought,
was
I
great.
thought
It
that
was
cover
great.
was kind of weak.
yeah.
It's for you to say that right now makes me
I love.
wanna. I think that could be one to do with the new.
I like when bands
direction
take
of the
more of a
dough.
mainstream, like
Yeah, funny
everybody
cover.
fucking knows this
Yeah.
song, and they put their own spin on
Yeah.
it. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to pull in fans who might not have any. They don't know any of your original tunes, but they're like, well, they played the Gwen. It's a good way to
Yeah,
pull new
for
people
sure.
in. And I think K-Mac just has a great vocal range.
Yeah.
So
That one's a funny one.
Yeah, I mean,
like
you
to
either
hear it.
love or hate the idea of like a more jam band doing a mainstream pop
Totally.
song. I'm in the camp of love it as well, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, they're gonna jam it out and do something like crazy with it, and it's such a curveball or like weird way to come at a song that everyone knows that it hypes me up. But
I think if you're intentional about it, if you really lean in and you make it about, learning the song and making it actually sound great based on what you think creatively,
Yeah,
then
for
it's hard
sure.
not to as a fan, especially love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
What do
think-
you think? What was yours?
I think the cover of the year, RADO cover of the year for me is I Got the Bye Bye, the mashup.
it's
because
now I got the Slim Shimmy.
I got the Slim Shimmy. Well, I was gonna say it
Nice.
started being I Got the Bye Bye, right? And then when you guys used to play it, and then I think maybe all of 2024, I didn't hear it in the shows that I went to. It was
We
kind
never
of,
played it with Ben once.
that's what I was gonna say.
That
it
was
was it was an
not a
absent tune,
single time.
and then boom, as soon as Dietz it's back.
Because Zach did the rap, so I didn't play. I didn't learn the rap
That's
until
right.
Dietz got into the band,
Yeah.
and then we did that one time. And
Well,
it honestly took me a long time to learn. So
seeing
I'm a
it come
little
back
salty
is-
that I don't get to do that rap anymore. Just kidding.
Seeing it come back is sick, and Dietz doing the rap is amazing because
No,
he's
it's
such a
sick.
Wu
I
Tang
love
fan.
it.
When he comes, he brings such a hip hop.
when he hits the
influence.
shimmy, yeah. Actually, not to jump ahead, but to add to your point, one of my personal favorite jam was the Buena Vista, Thank You, Mr. Science, and then into
Oh, yeah.
the
Yes.
shimmy,
I remember that.
Eminem rap, and I didn't even know that was in your bag, so it was very fresh and new.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
I loved
brand.
that.
That was the first version with the shimmy.
So let's break it down. I Got the Slim Shimmy
Yeah,
is
that's right.
is I Got the, which is a Labba Saffra tune.
Yeah, the-
and
The one that Real Slim Shady sampled for the famous Eminem song, obviously. And so we start with the original, go into the sample, but then Dietz, well, originally we had like layered over,
Cypress Hill.
Cypress Hill, Boom Biddy Bye Bye on it. And then somehow Dietz came in and had the idea to put Wu Tang, Shimmy Shimmy Ya on it. And so now, it's just this epic mashup. And then we're like, well, it's also kind of the chords of, well, I guess it's Waste is the other one that we sometimes do with that.
I'll
But
just throw that in there.
it gets to like 4 or 5
Depends.
different songs being mashed up at once.
music's
at the
cool
end.
like that.
It is
Shared
cool.
DNA.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it leads
That's a
to
fun
quite
one.
a massive crescendo at the end when we're one person singing Eminem, one person singing Wu Tang, one person singing La Vie Souffre.
Wu-Tang. Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah,
great.
Dietz rips that too.
So yeah,
No doubt. For me, it's like it's a crescendo of what you guys have done as a band this year. Obviously featuring Dietz, and it's
Yeah.
digging back into your repertoire a little bit.
I think
Yeah.
it's cover of
It's-
25 for
it's the
sure.
dough.
It's the
Yeah.
it takes the crown for that one.
That's mine too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I mean, I like it for all those reasons, and just because it has the samples
Yeah.
in it. That was one of the first ones where we were like, we can bring in a sample from a song and
New tech,
play
new tech.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
And that's
probably
an
the birthplace
extended, and
of,
it's an extended sample too, where it's like 10 seconds long, and we're just kind of grooving on it, and gave me a lot of faith that even though he's speaking, that the music's still on top of it. It doesn't need to have all the technicality of like the MIDI syncing that the Biscuits and bigger bands are doing. We'll talk about all that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's the cover of 2025 for sure. But we're not playing it for a little while because
honorable mention to California Love.
Yeah,
Got a lot
also
of
that
room
one.
as well.
Also
For
that
sure.
one.
Basically, what happens is, you find this thing that you really lock in and it's freaking awesome, and you kind of milk that for a couple months, I think.
Yeah.
Because you just know it's like an ace in the hole, and it keeps coming back out of the deck. Like, oh, now would be a good
Yeah.
time to drop that ace on these people.
Yeah.
And then after you kind of
kill
overdo
it.
it,
I
you're
love
like,
it.
all
It
right,
always
all
hits-
right.
I love that way
You
to
gotta
put it.
take a
Sweet,
break from
Sweet
it.
Dreams. Can't
Yeah.
play that one.
Yeah.
Those are the top 3. I'm gonna put Sweet
or
Dreams in the running.
Biscuits
for,
doing that Tiesto sample that they did for a year and a half, and we're like, all right, we got to move past this
Move
one.
past
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, yeah, a lot to get over in 2025. I mean, man, there's so many different directions we can go. We've talked about covers. I mean, obviously the big change was there was a drummer change about
Yep.
midway through the year. Actually, a huge year for drummer changes in the jam band scene.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We did it. We did it just to make the headlines.
Queen song,
yeah,
dude.
exactly. You
Another one
wanted
bites
to be
the
wanted to be
dust.
thrown in the group, but I mean,
We were trolling you guys.
yeah.
I will be honest. It definitely helped soften the blow. And you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah, you're like
Humphreys, McGee,
Goose,
Primus, Goose, and RADO all go through
Biscuits,
intense drummer
Yeah,
changes.
the best part was when somebody did post us in the My Drug Band.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it like there were just a bunch of people being like, "Well, who the fuck is RADO, dude?"
Yeah, yeah.
And we're like, "Well,
Yeah, like,
publicity
RADO
for
crap.
us."
yeah.
Love you, Ben.
We do love you, Ben.
Yeah, we do love you, Ben.
But
Yeah.
I guess I have a question on that front. Would be like, obviously that's a big change, and you're still writing music throughout that whole period and performing live. Does your approach to like songwriting change? Do you play into his, Jeremy's strengths? Like, do you, regardless of who's behind the kit, are you writing a certain style, kind of delivering a certain style?
I mean,
Like,
not so much.
Can I do an outside looking in really quick
Yeah.
before you
Yeah,
say
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Because it to me it feels like almost a natural progression.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't usually get into the studio with these guys, but I'm very close to James and Dylan personally. We talk all the time, and I'm pretty caught up in terms of things. Also, like,
Matt is
4
the
weeks
fifth
can go
member
by.
of the band.
he's
I
the
mean,
CK5
let's
of
be
RADO.
4 weeks can go by, and they can be like in the lab and have like literally recorded a few albums, which is what happened with probably one of my favorite albums of the year, which I'm just going to put as one, even though it's two, which is Pocket Therapy and then Fluidity, which is their sort of RADO's instrumental sort of, funk forward and then dance forward, sort of like studio jams, is kind of how I put it. And watching them kind of do that creative thing, which felt very like in the studio jam moment, sort of forward to where they are, what they're cooking in the kitchen now, feels like a direct progression. And it's also what they're doing now has a lot of newness to it. It's incorporating some, I think, strengths of Dietz for sure. That's what it seems like to me. But also some new tech. Like Dylan's experimenting with samples. So is James. We have some new synthesizers in the kit as well, and new patches always. I think is something that they're working on, and it's using those techniques to put some new music out there. And I think the Bluebird got a little dose of that this weekend. To me, what's great about it is it's still like you hear it and it's like that's RADO. But it's also bringing some new, music that you haven't heard and some new almost styles to the table that aren't necessarily like what you've heard in the past from this band.
Well said.
Yeah, that's pretty fair. I love that. It's a good way to look at it. I don't know that we've changed the writing as much, where it's like we're gonna write this song now because Dietz is in the band, like to play to his strengths. But we did do some like group songwriting, and I mean that is gonna naturally just bring out his flavor and style, and we've brought in some new songs. But I think the biggest changes have kind of been more on the jams on stage have changed a bit. And that's a good thing. I think it's important that when Dietz comes into the fold, he doesn't feel like he doesn't necessarily need to like sound like Ben or even Z-Balls. Like we want him to have his own flavor on it, and because he's which I really appreciate about him is he's like kind of like vocal about like wanting to do things and taking things in a certain direction. And I appreciate that because I think that shows like that he's interested in what we're doing.
He's engaged.
Yeah, he's really engaged, and like the hip hop stuff has come out because of that. But I don't think we've just like I don't think it's a conscious thing that we're doing. It just happens because it's like symbiotic in this sense. And I mean, to all credit to Dietz, he has tried like really hard to learn like all the songs that we have had in the catalog. But I don't think if Ben steps down and Dietz joins the band, I don't think that this new fold of the band that Matt's talking about, like all these new samples, like maybe it would have happened in like the style of like more instrumental samples and like these like splice and all this shit. Maybe that happens, but it happened a lot faster because of this like need to like, all right, well, like we're kind of idle, let's switch some shit up and like come back like new and fresh.
Yeah, an understanding that we couldn't be like, okay, we got to figure out how to make this sound
like that,
like what we just
were.
Let's
make it way different.
Even though there are parts that you're like, oh, I really loved how we did this. Can we try to do this? And you push. It's a compromise. You meet in the middle. Like there's certain, like I said, there's certain things you're like, no, we do it a certain way. Like, can you try to fit that? And then there's other things where, but yeah, to your point, it was like, all right, we need to push forward creatively right now because, we don't want to just try to sound exactly how we've been sounding with Ben. This is a big change, and we should like lean into that.
You
and
almost want that. Like that's important because it's a new identity. It should feel different. Like I want people when Jeremy joined up with us, and maybe that's why we did it at the Bluebird where we played 4 new songs and 3 of those in this new vein of music. It was like that's our biggest Denver show. I want people to see this new version of RADO and have people like associate that with Dietz. You know what I mean? And that's what they're about now.
And at the same time, you guys
do the old shit too,
exactly.
But you
Back
want
Nine was a big part of that show.
Yeah, for sure.
But you want people to be able to listen and be like, oh, this must be late 25.
Right.
Kind of thing. Like, you can hear that
Totally.
stylistic change. They must have changed drummers around this time. You can really
it breathes life into the old material, I think, but it also opens up that creative gateway into the new realm, into the new sector.
Yeah, we all just got to be. Me too. I get on Dietz sometimes just because it's like I want the songs like this way, and I just need to remember like it's okay to relinquish that and allow him to shine in it in a new way because that's dope that he again is engaged like that and wants to do something different.
Because if you think of any major jam band that's been around for a long amount of time, how many different variations of that same song do you hear? They are constantly changing. It is constantly evolving. No band plays their catalog the same way for 20 years.
Yeah,
so
totally.
it's always this fluid evolution.
And we're honored, dude. Like Dietz is killing it. Major shout out
He's
to
a
our boy
hell of a
because he's
drummer.
a hell of a drummer, and it's
Yeah.
a vibe with him that's really it's like so it feels very professional, like in a really great way.
But yeah, to your point, it is like as a songwriter, it's a constant battle just with anyone. There's like how I hear it in my head when I write it, and then I'm like, all right, here I want to bring it to the band. And there's certain give and take of like, oh, I kind of heard it this way, but you're really liking playing it this way, and I want you to be excited about what you're contributing to it, and like give you space for that. And so you do got to get used to relinquishing a little bit of like, in my head, the bass line or something was a little more like this, but I'm gonna let this, the song evolve right here.
We
this
try
moment,
both. I mean, that's usually what we've been doing. The yes and okay, we'll do that, and there is the ultimate rule of if it's more so a James song and he doesn't like something, you also as somebody that's trying to contribute to it needs to understand that he does have, veto power, like executive orders to be like, no, dude. Like, Fire is a good example. I love the new version of it where I play the guitar line, and I think you told me to do that years ago when you wrote it, and I was like, no. And now because we've adopted this new thing where it's really more open to just being like, okay, I will try that, even just for you, And we talked about this on the pod a little bit last year, but this is a gradual process to be able to relinquish pride. I think is like the challenging thing because you might really love what you're doing, but you've got to accept that at the end of the day, it is the other person's song, and especially if you're not willing to try at least their idea initially, that's not that's not chill. You know, you should at least do it how they heard it in their head, I think, first, and then try
I
to
agree.
change it up because it sounds so much, but the fire sounds so much better now
Right,
because of
Yeah.
that.
because you want the constructive criticism, but you also don't want to step on toes. You don't
Right.
want to
Right.
be, you know.
Yeah, and you also like you kind of want people like at least when I write, like I want them to like jump on ideas immediately and be like,
Yeah.
let's do this, let's try that,
Pick
let's
at
try
it a
this,
bit.
let's try
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and then we can bring it back to maybe not, you know. So that's a balancing act.
You guys mentioned earlier some new technology that's kind of evolved in the RADO repertoire this year. A little more sampling, a little more just technology elements. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have added to the lineup.
Yeah, stoked for this segment
Yeah.
because there's so much cool
And,
stuff.
and dumb it down for some of us who might not
Yeah.
understand what
Yeah.
the hell you're doing up there.
Yeah, I mean, so far up to this point, I think I don't think we're like super purists, but we want to push the limits of technology. We really want to avoid having a laptop on stage. That's kind of like a line in the sand for us, but we're trying to figure out how to
None of this laptop DJ
serious.
bullshit.
not to judge anyone who
No.
has it. It's just like once you cross that line, it's just a
You're
different.
gonna be telling us to jump 1, 2, 3, jump.
So a lot of it's been
Put
like
your
trying to
hands
add modern technology, a little more futuristic sounding stuff, while trying to, you know, stay true to our organic selves. But
I guess the reason because of that, I think is just not, and it's like not to knock people that do it. Like James says, is I think there's a little more opportunity to like improv. I think
Right, it
with
feels
this
constricting.
style where when you do get a
Interesting.
computer going in a track
Yeah.
going that you're my man a track going that you have to like specifically play to. That means you can never really deviate away too much
Yeah.
from the song. And right now with the way that we have it set up, like if something gets missed, we could just abandon it quickly and you would have no idea, like at all. And we would just shut it down, or like I could just re-cue something, or like
There
really
is something a little, I think, restricting about
There is.
the EDM world, where it is all so synchronized. It is all so timed from the lights to the beat drop to, you know, there is very little room to creatively switch things up. And a lot of music fans might not care about that stuff. I think in our world, we tend to care a little bit more about making everything different.
yeah. So go ahead.
let's talk
talk
tech.
tech.
Let's
Yeah,
talk
let's
brass
talk tech.
tech.
So for those of us who, you know, tell us
Yeah.
where you kind of started this year and where you ended up and what you've added along the way.
Yeah, so if we did it chronologically, I don't know if I want to get chronological or say like
Whatever you want to do.
2024 is probably year of the virus. 2025, year of the future impact. Maybe.
Oh,
I know the sampler's in
yeah.
there too in
No,
the
yeah,
running,
yeah,
but
yeah. Yeah,
but,
I gotta
um,
give it to it.
we'll just shout out Kevin since he's not here. The Future Impact pedal, which Benny and Dylan got sourced for him for a birthday. I would say that's probably had maybe the most profound impact overall on 2025 sound.
So what does that do? Walk me through it. Like
It's
what's
just like a synth bass pedals. It gives Kevin to kind of do a lot more kind of
When you think you're going to be impacted, it's not then. It's actually later.
okay.
but hey,
It's the ace. It's the trick up the
Yeah,
sleeve. It's like when you're at 10 and you need to go to 11.
yeah.
So Brownie has 2 of them, just to tell you that.
Okay.
So like Kevin having 1 is the step in that direction where it's really just, I mean, it's synth sounds,
Yeah.
like just heavy synth sounds. And it's funny because he got it, and I think he initially was just like, okay, I'm gonna try this out and we'll see if I use it at the show much. And then literally after the first set, I think it was at the Armadillo Ranch in 2025, like right, or maybe it was the December show right before 2025, because it was that birthday in
birthday's
24,
October
right?
24,
Yeah, so he was just turned to me and he was like, dude, I use that for every fucking song. So it really did.
It gives a lot of texture to the unsee jams instead of having that super clean bass tone. You set the bass line with like a synthy kind of bass line, and then from there it's like I'm layering on Virus, and it just gives it a very much more of a can give it like a trancey, get lost in the
Totally.
Ethereal type feel.
Also,
yeah.
like who's playing what? Like obviously,
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
that,
it does happen.
that all
Yes.
this sound is coming from the band, but you're looking up there and you're like, whoa.
It's a
Sometimes
that's a,
the
Hundo.
noises are like
it's a great
in a cool,
point
in a
where
cool
you're-
way.
you can't quite distinguish the keys from the guitar tone, and it's kind of all
Yeah.
this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
Future Impact puts Kevin in the mix for that.
Very cool.
I will quickly touch on. I don't remember when I brought the Chaos pad in, but the Chaos pad made its way in. I want to say
similar
sometime in this year, and it was a total like. I had it from my Kaleidoscope days, my other band.
That's right. I was gonna say.
And it was just sitting on the shelf in the closet. And I don't remember what made me bring it out at one point. We were talking about getting some type of sound, or I don't know. I was like, oh, I could pull this thing out of the closet and kind of mess around with it. And, of course, hit a couple buttons on it, and everyone's just like, so that's a part of the rig now.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's made a huge, huge difference. It's gotten and yeah, for everyone that does, I mean, it's kind of a loop station in a way. It's like a loop station that I can also use to put effects on. And then there's just like things like risers and stuff that are kind of just built into it that I can just cue,
Shout out Trey Anastasio in 1999 had it as a part of his rig.
as well as 2017 at the Baker's Dozen. Yeah, that was cool. But yeah, thanks for reminding us that nothing we do is original, Matt. It's all borrowed from Trey.
I mean, I just think it's cool that sometimes cool techniques are used, 30 years later.
For sure,
of
for
course,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I use it to loop stuff. I use it to do synths and other trippy sounds, just kind of in the middle of jams, and sometimes like loop stuff, put delays on stuff, and it's just a lot of fun, especially because it's very tactile. You do stuff like on a big wide screen pad, so I just kind of like mess around on there like Jackson Pollock sometimes.
For the bakers out there, it's the one on top of his virus. So he's looking at you and he's doing this. That's what that is.
Yeah, we've basically moved 2025 to chase the Tronica part of Jamtronica.
Yeah.
Because I thought, we were kind of a Jamtronica band before. We would, touch on these moments, and like I had synth patches, and obviously all your synth patches make that sound. But now I think if somebody sees us, they're gonna be like, "That's a Jamtronica band," and like I really, really love that style of music because I think it's just we talked about it at length in the basement, and I hope this comes across the right way. I just feel like Jamtronica music kind of like moves the needle of jam music forward a bit, where it's not like, I'm not trying to sit here and play an acoustic guitar and sing you a, Take Me Down the River, Jerry Garcia kind of style of song. Like I want to get into some of these cool new samples, and I love that kind of music, and I don't hate it.
All right, I'm out.
No, he's out. He's out. No, I think there's a place for all of it, but that's what I've just found like really gets me going. Is there's this like progression of music that I think Jamtronica does just because it's technology based, that it's just like bringing in newness, And
it also keeps the bodies moving.
Yeah,
dude.
it does
That's
too,
it.
dude.
You
You want
the
to go to
eternal-
a
for
show
sure.
and you want to fucking
Vibe.
be grooving.
Yeah, you wanna
dude.
vibe.
It's the eternal heart.
We're here for vibes.
It's that 4/4 driving
Yeah.
On the
fucking
flow.
beat.
And I think sometimes Jamtronica gets dissed on because some of it sounds redundant and some of it can be repetitive, but I think you can do it the right way where like you were just talking about like earlier, like if we can kind of flow in between both of our styles and have these kind of identities, I really like that. But man, has it been the year of the Tronica?
Yeah.
Yeah, which brings us to our last piece of
Yeah, the
tech /
tech-
gear
yeah,
that
the
we got to
tech-
bring up.
Well, the SBD also
That's
with
true.
Dietz, because again, so it's kind of funny if you really think about it. Each one of us has added a flavor of Tronica
Yeah.
piece.
PDX,
Yeah.
baby.
I was going to talk about that when we were talking about the switch of drummers too and the style change. Like just bringing in that pad, that helped us. Like you're sort of kind of pour gas on the fire of us going that direction. He starts queuing samples. You're like, oh, you're queuing samples? No, I cue some samples.
Yeah, well, so he added in the SPD pad, which is just a little electronic drum pad that you can have samples on there. You can have heavy 808 tracks, it just makes it sound, again, more heavy, more jamtronica, more electronic.
Swiss Army knife, you know. You
Yeah.
can just
Do whatever you want. And the way that inspired me, it definitely a bit, but where I got into the samples piece was listening to, again, Touchdowns All Day did inspire us has continued to inspire us for a long time. I don't know how kosher it is to talk about the biscuits right
Once
now.
an episode, it's our quota.
Yeah.
this is
but
actually being
anyways,
redacted.
But
Yeah.
but
Cut
Barber
it.
Barber talked about how he cued some samples and he was like, yeah, I just did it because I think it's fun. And I have this not a pad, but it's like a sampler looper. It's called the Boss RC202. And I used to just use it for like songwriting, like in recording myself, because it's got like a bass switch that I can turn my guitar to a bass. It's got a bunch of different drum patterns, and I can record loops on it and add all this stuff. But you can do so many different things to it that I got curious, like, what can I do with some samples with it? Because I just want to be able to have some fun on stage and maybe cue up, like, I don't know, an Office sample from Stanley being like, boy, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it. Something like that. Just something random, because that's what Dietz was doing. Because I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. Like, let's do that. And we did that for a couple shows. But then I got into this program called Splice, which is just so sick if you make music and like want to produce music, anything like that, or you just want to like get some instruments basically like a orchestra. You can just pull like a drum part, a bass part, and plug them together and just listen to it. It's way cooler than people making fucking AI music. Use your brain just like at least a little bit. It only takes 10% to build these tracks sometimes in Splice, truly. So I got really into Splice, and I started to like think through these like samples of like girls' voices, and just like I talked about it on the pod, like one of the last episodes, and more of these like whispery kind of like big voices that just are sustained, reverby, delayed notes that I can trigger on the one in my sample pad and just press it, and it'll be like ooh, something like that. And I can just do that, and it'll loop through one time, and I can turn it off and it won't go out of sync, and I can press it again and it won't go out of sync. So that got really intriguing, because we were like, okay, if I started to just not press it again, and I would just kind of let it loop, and it would loop, and it wouldn't sound like bad at all when it would be like a little bit off, or maybe it moves from like the ooh is on the 1 and the 2. It just kind of is just this extra texture layer. And so that kind of opened up this thought in my mind of like, well, what if we could, start to loop like a legit track and not have to like throw on the computer or have like a click track going? And that's where it all gets very codependent on listening as hard as you possibly can, because we're not necessarily purists about this. Like, we want to be able to deliver this new style of like some of these samples and playing over them, like in probably the most like, I guess we might be purists, James. Like we just want to do it like the most organic way possible, I think. So this is where it really just requires so much of each one of us to pay attention.
Like you're playing an instrument, no cheat codes.
Yeah, it really is. And so where it's developed is we've just kind of started where we'd be like, okay, let me try to tap tempo in this BPM that Dietz is playing on and see if I can get this rhythmic loop to line up to him. Because the RC202 is very cool because I have a tap tempo. So like what that means is they'll be playing at a certain BPM and I can tap that BPM in, and then I can trigger that loop at that tempo, which is good, and it works in some theory, but it can get off, especially if Dietz isn't listening to it like fully, or it's, maybe recorded in there at the wrong tempo because there's a delay on there or something. But then I can adjust the RC202 to whatever Dietz is playing. So I can constantly mess with it and readjust the tempo, but that gets a little challenging.
Sure.
So that's where like some of these new ideas that we might implement, like some MIDI syncing potentially, will come into play, because all of these new songs that we've written that have come from Splice, they are on a specific BPM. So there's not really necessarily a way, like, we don't want to have to like tap the sample to what we're playing. We want to be able to adjust what we're playing to where the sample is kind of at. So it's like, how do we figure out what BPM we're at? Because what I've realized, dude, is if it's like 1 or 2 off, Dietz is like, this is credit to him and credit to Kev, really, because James and I can do whatever the fuck we want under these loops. It'd be like vibe session out, you know? Like, but like, they're the rhythm section, so they've got to have it dialed in. So if they're like 1 or 2 off, it basically, I've tested it out playing to like us at like 122 and turning the loop up that I have to like 125 or 130 or something, and seeing like, what is the deviance where it really starts to sound like shit. And like, I think like 5 BPM is probably that deviance. And as long as somebody can kind of adjust to it, it does create well, as long as you're able to, as long as Dietz is able to somewhat speed up and I'm able to somewhat slow down, it won't go too far out of sync. And if you listen to the Bluebird show, which I'm really excited to have come out, that's all pure like live BPM syncing. It is like the pure way to do this, even though like the people in the basement were like, why don't you use a fucking MIDI sync?
Well, on that topic, I don't know if you guys want to dive into Bluebird conversations or Jam of the Year conversations, but if you guys didn't catch it, last Saturday was Photon, RADO, 2 sets each at the Bluebird.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking
Yeah,
cool.
let's start there real quick. Shout out to Photon, especially Jimmy Dunstan and Neil Evans, Fro. Jimmy really had a grand vision. He like saw us at Beanstalk and was like, "You guys are sick. Let's do something together." Kind of like put a lot of it together and had the idea to do this connecting Segway set situation. He was like, "Dude, let's set up all the equipment on stage at once, and we'll like do transition jams from y'all's set to our set, and we'll do like RADO, Photon, back to RADO, back to Photon." And we were like, whoa, dude, slow down. That sounds cool and all, but I don't know if that's going to happen. And sure enough, we did it. And that's all anyone there
Shout
was
out
saying.
Bluebird. Shout out staff. Shout out Brian. Front of house sound. I mean, wiring that whole stage up with 2 bands at the same time was crazy. Barbie lights. I mean, the whole
light
place.
show was incredible.
The whole place.
Liquid JPEG.
And then of course Liquid JPEG guys.
That was a big part of the collab too.
Danny and Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Photon, really, for those who don't know or haven't seen Photon, absolutely incredible local band. I think I wrote it in the article, but it was like early STS9 meets like Herbie Hancock.
Yeah, that was a great comparison.
It has that really jazzy, like like 05 to 07 Sound Tribe, where it was really light and like
Cosmic space jazz, dude.
Totally. Cosmic space jazz is a great way to put it. Seen those guys a couple times, and they're just professionals and really pushing boundaries there. So
Yeah, is Dan Africano always in that band?
Yes, but also from Thievery Corporation,
Right, yeah.
and he played in Tom Hamilton's band, Ghostlight.
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right,
yeah.
yeah. Very
And
cool.
Tim Windle on guitar just
Yep.
to round out the lineup. But they're incredible.
Incredible.
And super tight and
And a
professional.
great, good hang too.
Yeah. And
Cool
so-
dude.
Those of you that have seen episodes of this cast know that I'm a huge Dopapod fan. So Neil comes, obviously spent a lot of time playing in that band, which is a personal favorite of mine. So just to be in the room with those guys for me was like a dream team collab. It felt like a local night.
Yeah.
All the
Everybody was out
homies
in
came
the room.
out, dude. Yeah.
And it was the most, not to kind of sound douchey about it, I guess, but the most sort of like professionally musician-y stuff I'd ever done, because like we didn't really practice it at all. I was like, how's this gonna go? Big stage, a lot of people there. Like, oh, we're just gonna wing it in front of 500 people with like Fro and Jimmy, and like we're just like, oh, just come out and jam, and it's like, okay, and like, I mean, it went incredible, and everyone loved it. Like everyone was like, oh, the transition jam was the coolest part of the night, and so that made me feel like, all right, I can
We're
like
good.
you can
We're
show up
good.
anywhere, kind of sit in and make stuff happen.
Yeah, the whole night really, it felt special, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like
Chicken
everybody.
song at the end. I was like, did you know the chord progression? You're like, at
Yeah.
the very end, I
Yeah.
figured it out.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, a lot of positive
Much
feedback from that night. A lot of people I know I spoke to who were very impressed by you guys and maybe didn't know as much about RADO or Photon, and everybody
Nice.
seemed to leave that show pretty floored. So
Yeah, good. I mean, just a great crew, man. When you got
Yeah.
a great crowd with a lot of friends in there,
unbelievable.
just the scene came out.
Yeah.
It's a tough weekend too, which made it feel like wow, people really were looking
Yeah.
to have a good time.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah, there's a
down,
lot
support.
going on. That's one of my, Colorado, man, doesn't slow down. Every weekend
Yeah.
there's heavy hitters.
Weekend after New Year's,
Yeah.
it's just like
With,
okay.
with that, I will say, 2026 is the year that the Denver jam scene kind of hones in, refocuses, rebuilds, and the new guard
Hunkers down.
is going to be leading the charge this year. Some bands that
Oh,
you
yeah,
haven't
that
necessarily
reminded me.
seen at the top of the lineup this year.
Very good point.
I think RADO
A
included.
lot of bands been
Yeah.
putting in the time.
Yeah,
and
there's a
slowly
changing
working the way
changing
up.
of the guards taking place.
That reminds me of the one other cover that I wanted to shout out was the Beans one.
The beat.
Mr. Scientist.
Mr.
We can't
Scientist.
not talk about
Yeah.
that.
That was a
Yeah.
great one.
I don't know. My favorite kind of New Year's time show was definitely the photo. But I have to shout out the Magic Beans and Pigeons. Actually, December 30th and 31st at the Ogden was magical. And I don't know, those of you out there, Pigeons fans, that's great. I had a great time, but I was there for the Beans.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
Sending,
sure.
sending them home.
That magic was palpable that night too.
Yeah,
those
they were
nights, too.
ripping.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ripping.
The
so
Beans,
good.
we've talked about it here, but the Beans are one of those. That was one of the first
They're
Jamtronica
the
bands
fathers of
I
the
ever heard.
Denver jam scene for
Yeah.
real, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Of their almost their generation, which is slightly because it's like I feel like Cheese before them was like the
Right,
Colorado
yeah,
jam band
yeah,
that
for
paved the way
sure.
for a lot of leftover salmon.
Of course,
had
yeah.
40, 50 years. But
Yeah.
they were definitely like
Yeah. The new guard.
the class right below that. That was
The
set that
new
standard for everyone
guard,
else
though.
after them.
Yeah.
Beans started playing when we were in college. That's when they started in the scene.
that's pretty
and
dang
and it's been crazy to become friends with those guys. Beanstalk was a huge highlight of my year. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
seeing them, ultimately say they're hanging up the hat in the next year felt like a blow. But this was a This was a celebration.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
and I'll go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's where the scene's at right now.
I'll add just to talk about the Beans a bit. Man, I remember being in college, we would turn on Inside Jabu Jabu's Belly at a house party full of like 19, 20-year-olds. Like we're all just drinking, throwing on the Magic Beans in Mankato, Minnesota.
That's
And
epic.
that,
Oh, let's
that was
go.
one of our anthems, and learning about Jamtronica music kind of through the localized first. I wasn't even listening to the Disco Biscuits or Lotus. It was like the Magic Beans and
That's cool.
Dopapod and like a lot of bands like the
Nice.
Roster McCabe, these bands that don't even like play anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
And I heard the unce and the sound, and then that led me to this whole world of music that has consumed me over the last 15 years. So
Well, that's
they
awesome,
are
man.
a huge, huge part of that. And so shout out to those guys.
That's
Yeah.
legit epic that they were. I was listening to Jabu Jabu's Belly in Boulder, and you were in
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
great. That's crazy. How cool is
And I
that?
was like, yeah, they're probably into Zelda, they play unce. Like, this is fucking sick. So yeah, shout out the Magic Beans. Well
shout out.
deserved. And Beanstalk this summer for the final send off.
We,
Wow.
we.
It's gonna be a good one.
I think we're saving that spot in our calendars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be big.
one way or another for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. More to come on that. You want to do Jam of the Year? Should we play some music?
I think so.
Sure.
Are
Yeah.
we? Are there any other things to cover?
Yeah, I mean, dude. What else?
were? I thought the tour story ones could be
Yeah, you
good.
guys
Does
gotta
anybody
get
got
to it.
some
What,
good tour stories?
got any
I mean,
PG-13 tour
Virginia
stories?
Beach comes to mind a little bit.
immediately comes to mind.
Do tell.
So it's funny because we're gonna go over Jam of the Year and some stuff, and there we're gonna talk about Roanoke, which was like a legendary evening and such good music and good vibes and everything. But then we headed down to good old Virginia Beach on a Sunday, Memorial Day.
God bless.
It was actually
Memorial Day
Monday. It
week.
was the holiday.
No. No, because we had the Monday to drive back.
That's right. It was that's right.
Sunday.
We thought flawless. It's the
It's more than we can ever be out on Sunday.
Dude, the vibes were as high as possible. We were rolling into town. We were like, oh, we're going to hit the ocean.
Yeah.
We're going to play at this incredible spot. And we're not going to name names or
Right.
anything. We don't want to do that. But this just turned into one of the, I don't know, more comical, like, it's like a horror comedy.
series of unfortunate
it's like
events.
exactly. It's like one of those comedies where you're like, dude, this just
like a
watching the
Ben Stiller
trailer,
movie.
I
You
know.
just feel bad
Yeah,
while
you
you
just feel
watch
bad.
it. Yeah.
It's just like, dude, this is gonna be rough the whole time, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, just-
and it's so funny because it started off so great. It really is like one of those horror comedies
Yeah.
where it's just like it's the lovely family, you know,
Yeah,
perfect family.
rolling
then
into town
things
for
just start
vacation.
going wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
and like they picked us up, remember, and they dropped us off,
I
and they
know.
had parking for us, and they were really nice, but it just turned into this whole situation where
Sound guy was late. It started raining. Things just started going
Yeah,
south.
things maybe
then
snowballed.
Tensions started with the venue, and
and the blame came to the band basically.
Yeah. it was-
basically we ended up in a scenario where we were playing in the rain to no one at the allotted time that we were supposed to be there, and the owner was upset that we weren't going to play for an hour late because we started an hour late, not to our
not because
issue.
of us.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's like, and there were no, and like, I'm not just saying we we're playing in the rain. Like, there was no coverage for our gear of music,
you're
and we were
s-
playing in the rain. And
Yeah,
the
so
guy,
your pedal board
and then,
is getting-
and then
We're like, we're gonna call it. And they're like, oh, so you're quitters.
Yeah, and then dude, and then he, you know, speaking of
Yeah,
things, I
tough.
want to try to learn, enhance the vocab a bit in 2026, trying to bust out some new words. And this man taught me a new word that day, and I wrote a song about it. You remember that word, Matthew? He called us grifters, dude. He called us grifters, as if like we are going from town to town as a rock and roll
Yeah.
band,
Like, we
scamming
could-
venues.
This is an age-old
Yeah.
grift that
Yeah,
we run.
Yeah.
Put
Hoodwinked.
five guys,
Bamboozled.
ass
Set
to
up all
ankles
of
in a
our
van.
stuff, played for 2 hours, but left an
Yeah.
hour early.
They're going for town to
Pivoting
town.
for 1 hour.
As soon as they say
for
they're going to play,
five-
they pack up and leave town.
for
On to the next.
$500.
People say
Yeah.
they're heading
This is
west
what we
now.
do.
Yes.
We travel across the country doing this.
I mean-
Scamming people.
No, and
All right, what
and,
are-
the, and the guy just he was just mean to me, and
So we're gonna.
Well,
Never mind.
what made
First
matters
name?
worse is like,
No.
you know, we'd all been out there for a while, and Dylan just walks up to the guy and he acts like he's being attacked. He's like, I am physically threatened by your presence. kind of
me,
vibe.
I'm not that guy.
So it just escalated quickly. It's
Yeah.
one of those moments where you're just like shaking your head.
Yeah, and I'm sure unfortunately, God, there's probably some shitty owners out there. I bet you most bands maybe run into that
Yeah.
from time to time.
In all respect,
at least you can laugh
all
about
respect to the place where
Yeah.
you know
We've actually
I hope
had a
they're
pretty great
successful.
experience.
it. Yeah,
For the most part,
yeah.
the East Coast tour was actually, you know,
Pretty
we played
good.
at great venues.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so true.
that's hilarious though.
Yeah.
You're just
Any others tour stories?
bamboozled.
Bamboozled.
I had one come to mind. I don't know. You weren't there, but
what is it?
in Texas, coming back from Texas most recently, when we almost ran out of gas and we were riding on the E for like
my
a really, really long time. This is in like Northwest Texas where there's like nothing for
Yeah.
miles and miles, and it's one of those like, oh, should we hit that gas station? It's like, no, it's a left turn. We don't want to do that. And we drive past it. Not another gas station for 70 miles.
70 miles. And we looked at it and it was like
Yeah.
actually 70 miles.
Yeah.
For the
And we
la-
looked at it when we were 30 miles in, and that was a
Yeah, I couldn't turn around. And so for the last like 20 minutes, it was no AC, no radio. Like the radio takes gas technically to run. So it was like silent, no AC, no radio, just driving
four
in
dudes.
silence. Like,
Tense.
you think we're gonna make it? And then like the range was dropping way. It started at range 70, distance 30, and then it was like range 50, range 40, range 30, distance 20. It's like, well, that's going down way faster. And then
I was literally thinking to myself, like, all right, who's gonna have to make the
Yeah.
gas station?
Yeah, who's
run?
gonna stand outside
Like,
the car?
It's
and
like,
come?
shoot, I've
Yeah.
been hitting those Shred Gains channel too much. They might nominate me
Yeah.
for this one,
Yeah.
or Kevin because he's got the
You're
5K.
definitely the most
We're gonna have to-
pick-upable in the band.
Shift the weight around in the back. Yeah.
That's a compliment, I
God,
think.
no, it's not. That's dirty, dude. Go get
What-
gas. Hey,
what-
boys.
What most fans don't realize is by the time they arrive to play the show, that all of this shit has happened.
Oh, yeah.
that's
You
right.
know.
That was on the way back.
We
we
always
got-
show up and deliver.
Yeah.
Sometimes
that
you'll
was
hear a
funny.
little,
Yeah.
a tease in a song where they're like, "Got stuck on the fucking road today."
yeah.
Running out of gas.
Yeah.
There was so much hope.
Yeah.
Dude.
yeah. That's
Oh, that was
I'll
funny.
just say there was a time where Kevin had to drop his bass on stage and punch a guy in the face that was wilding out in the front row.
It's true.
yeah.
I was just telling Caden about that. Yeah. We're at a festival. I won't name it either, just in case for
Yeah.
security privacy concerns. But
crazy.
a guy
That
was
one's
having a
blocked out
bad
of my
trip
memory.
and kind of lost it.
Went from
Yeah.
dancing like this to like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really not
He-
cool.
Yeah.
Hit somebody
He
in the
punched a
face.
girl in the face.
Yeah.
And
Not
then,
okay. She
Not
was
okay.
She was okay.
That's
She was
good.
all
right?
And then,
I mean,
yeah,
at
everyone-
the end of the day,
guys
she's
were
very,
chasing this
very
guy down,
traumatized.
and Kevin was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
Dude, it was. I mean, I honestly that changed my view of Kevin a little bit, and I have so much love for Kev, but he acted like like as soon as there was commotion in the crowd, he jumped off the stage and chased this dude down. And I don't think if he didn't do that, like the guy was like wrapping around the stage and was just in like attacked like the woman running like the video as well, and then him and this
Kevin
other
stepped
dude
in, yeah.
grabbed him. And I mean, I was getting like James and I were just kind of like trying to like
was
I was
froze,
talking to the
dog. I was like-
crowd a little bit, being like, hey, what the fuck's going on? Is everybody okay
Dylan was
out
like,
there?
"I'm really scared right now."
Yeah.
And I was super scared, dude. Like
course,
I
dude.
was thinking
How-
I'm about to smash my fucking PRS across this dude's face if he bum
Yeah.
rushes us, because
Jeez.
there's no other option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were looking like
Came
the
in-
next
I was like,
target.
Kevin's our only line of defense
No,
here.
it was incredible. I got a lot. Kevin, that he was
Human-
a he was
human
a
first,
hero
musician
for
second.
real that
Yeah,
night,
that's right.
and that was really cool to see. Not it for the circumstance that we were in, but
Yeah.
it was cool to see him take action like that. It was,
We
And
also played on the
Scary
banks of the
shit.
Colorado River in between Iceman Special and Photon in the tent at Beanstalk, and then a dust storm erupted. I mean,
Yes.
there was so many highlights from this
yeah, great year, man.
Yes.
Meeting a lot of new friends. I think like it's honestly reflecting on 2025. It's amazing how one new connection, especially in music, can open new doors for you.
Yeah,
Preach.
That's what felt like
That's
just
what
happened at the
everything has
Bluebird.
happened. Well, it's just it's all. I mean, shout out to the Beans, because I feel like so much cool shit has happened from Beanstalk and
Stalk.
giving us a chance to get in front of some people, and like this festival opportunity that sadly ended that way happened because of that. But it was a super cool festival and an awesome opportunity. But the Bluebird show happened because of that. You
The
know,
dust
like,
storm added an ethereal part of the night. It wasn't,
sometimes
it
when you're
wasn't-
doing there's like that moment in life when you kind of just feel like things are like the dots are connecting, and you're not like forcing it as much anymore, and like things are just kind of like happening for you. And I feel like those are the most like promising moments of potential, and you have to capitalize on what that might mean for you, because you know, Jimmy and I've been doing this for a minute, dude. Like,
Right.
and when you start this, you're like immediately want that like instant gratification of like, okay, like our music's
Why aren't
good, like
doors
why aren't-
opening for
yeah.
us?
Right.
But and you
Well-
chase it, and you try so hard, and you try so hard, and you sometimes you just are like forcing it, you know, so much that you know, things don't pan out the way that you want them to. And if you maybe take that step back, I think more things are able to unfold, and you let them come to you if you do the right things and you work your ass off to start. I
Right.
guess.
A saying that I love is luck is the residue of design, and I think that
Yeah,
means
that's
that when
fucking
you put
Whoa.
in
Sick,
that
dude.
sounds like a
when
fish song.
it is.
dude.
Hey, Trey, pay me some royalties, dude. But when you put in the work and you have a plan, you know, it is an instant gratification.
Yeah.
It's years of fucking hard work
Right.
before it pays off, but you are now seeing the dividends of your hard work and some planning and some preparation and meeting the right people, and all of that comes to fruition. And now the luck is getting sprinkled in, and you're getting those breaks, and you're
Totally.
catching
Yeah.
those moments, and that is credit to you guys for all the hard work that you've put in over the years. So it's happening for a reason. It's because you put the energy into it.
Well, thank you, dude. That means
That's
a lot,
nice,
man.
man.
Yeah. And with that,
Should we play some tune?
let's play some tunes.
Leonard hated that.
I
That was a drum
have.
roll.
Well, here, Dylan. I'll
Minus
give you the
10 points
five
for
that I
Gryffindor.
have lined up, and you can tell me which of these.
All right, so we'll go ahead, shout these out here.
Well, should we just rank them 5th to 1st on
Okay.
the fly?
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so
last place.
So let me throw, let me toss them out there because does
Okay.
everybody know what they are?
I
on here?
have seen the list
All right,
as well.
so
now
we've got
from here.
Roanoke,
I actually think it's missing one. I would
Taos.
change one for a
Yeah.
different
Feel
one.
free to throw some in.
Cincinnati, Evergreen, and Globe Hall, and we have got what? So those are all like four Benny shows, and we've got one Dietz show on there. How do we want to go about ranking them? Should we vote on them as a crew?
I think we could just collectively, we just talk about our favorites. I don't know.
Okay,
We don't
I
have
think-
to
Well,
rank.
here's
Okay.
the thing. Here, I'll start. Favorite is so because there's the musical side of it, right? There's what was physically played and the recording of it all. But I think there's so much deeper meaning to what show of the year and jam of the year means to you because it's
Right.
also about your vibes that night,
Yeah,
who you were
energy
with,
in
the
the room.
venue. Who was the guy next to you? Was
Yeah.
he super drunk talking
Right.
your ear off? Like, there's a million factors that go into, like, I know personally, some of my favorite shows are like, some of my favorite Fish shows are throwaways in the grand scheme of Fish.
Right.
But for me, that
Right.
night was special because something clicked. So I
Totally.
think show of the year, jam of the year can be something to you personally. It doesn't have to be, well, this was 42 minutes, so it has to be
Right.
the one,
Yeah.
you know? I think it can also be like how you were, how
And
it was hitting
And
that
it's
night.
funny because that's exactly how when these shows got picked. And shout out to the folks, the select group of
Our-
individuals that helped us pick these out.
Our candidates.
Reacted to them where they were like, yeah, like this show was so great because of, you got this, my friend in the crowd asked you to play Freebird and they shouted it out. And,
Right.
and you guys got to play that where it's like, I don't think Freebird's a cool RADO cover that much, but like for
Right,
that moment, it's
right.
kind of cool,
Yep. I just kind of hit a couple of them quickly. Like Cincinnati, that room always rages. The people in there are so much fun. It's a great little town. Like,
that show sold out. It was our
Yeah.
only sellout show on
the
tour.
spring
You couldn't
2025
fit-
tour.
You couldn't fit another person in that room.
No,
Yeah,
And-
and they get long sets. It's kind of a go late kind of.
you can play till
Well,
3 a.m. if
I think
you want.
what you find is a lot of these is like
Cincinnati.
the freedom we feel at some of these. Like, oh, maybe a little
Yeah.
smaller crowd or like even a big crowd like Cincinnati, but like everyone's just there to rage and it's
Yeah.
crowded and it's tight and you just feel this energy and you're going till 2 a.m. and you're sweating and
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
what
there
made
is
that
some
one
mad.
special.
Somebody said it. When
May
we
I?
were-
May I?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Set two. Are you ready?
Yeah,
what
of course.
happened on this night, on this eve? so, all right, here we go. Off to the races. Segue into Jellyfish Sandwich, where they did this like one of my favorite moments. Impromptu. It was the Tube song. And it was like
Jimmy
a full.
plays a tube song.
Jimmy plays a tube song, and everybody in the crowd was like losing. It was like in the middle of the Jellyfish, Jimmy plays a tube song, and then they went into
Which is just some
Velocity,
made up shit.
Yeah, just on stage
yeah,
banter.
yeah.
but like with a tube, and James was like on talk box, and they made it tight. It was like a whole moment, and then into Velocity, which is part of the rock opera, back into Jellyfish, into Burn Down, which is part of the rock opera, back into Jellyfish, and then and then it was Anxious Eggs, Valerie Anxious Eggs, and the place just was like nutty. People were like
Anxious Eggs into Valerie.
taking their shirts off. It was crazy. Cincinnati is in Stanley's Pub is such a spot.
So cool.
Go there on a weekend. I'd imagined if like aliens had landed on planet Earth and walked into that place on that like Saturday night, that they would have thought that this planet was
Lit.
either the coolest place in the world
Or
debaucherous. Yeah. Not to be effed with. Can't be
Yeah.
saved. These people
Turn
are
around.
hopeless.
We gotta get
Turn
the
around.
fuck out of Ohio.
Go to the next planet.
Oh man,
So Cincinnati, shout out to Cincinnati. I've heard great things about that
Yeah.
scene out there.
great scene. I mean, it's cool. It's got a Armadillo Ranch vibe where it's a little. I think it's like 150,
tiny room.
150 people that
Stanley's
you
Pub, huh?
could
Stanley's.
squeeze in the whole place, and we got to like 143, and it was it was crazy. So cool though, awesome peeps.
Do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, I think
Elliot?
we can just
I saw
we
you
don't- I
had
don't-
one up. Let's just talk about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I was pulling. Let's see, what do I
Talk
have
about
here?
Roanoke.
So here we have Roanoke. I think what I got from the people that we pulled, the jellyfish from Roanoke seemed to hit home. I mean, it comes in at a whopping almost 34 minutes.
It was a 3-song second set.
It's massive.
Wow.
The second set was Run and Hide, Jellyfish Sandwich, Lazaretto,
Wow.
which might be my favorite set almost ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Do you-
was
How long has the Jack White cover been in the bag?
since
About a year.
Z-Ball. No, dude,
About
Z-Balls.
3
days.
years.
About a year.
And it goes
Since
off.
Zach
It's the best.
days.
It's
Yeah.
one of it's
But
one of the
that-
best ones.
Matt was on.
It's one of the
Matt
best
was on the
ones.
lights there. I think you were starting to like do the lights more there, and it added
Yeah,
a
so
special little. And that's
On
we
spring
should call
tour,
that out.
I
Go
did
ahead,
I
yeah.
did start to learn. I've been honing my craft and training on digital to motion light controllers and learning the software and trying to help these boys bring their live show to the next level.
which
So-
has been
shout
very
out.
very cool to have somebody
Yeah.
that knows your music, be a big part of the.
Right. Again, he's
In,
CK5,
Roanoke
right?
was one of the dude. He
You know,
really is,
he's
man.
the-
And Roanoke was one of those first shows that I think Matt really got the opportunity to.
They had these big movers.
Do the
These things
lights
were
on
bigger than
stage?
their head. They were huge.
Yeah.
They probably had a $50,000 light rig in this tiny little bar.
Yeah,
And I just it
He
was
sent
cool.
it.
It was cool as hell.
Yeah.
and
So
there
it
was a
brought the-
vibe of improv
Yeah.
that just got established because Matt was also like cooking with us. I think a little bit, at least in my mind, and that's why I was feeling it more that night, where it was just like, let's get deep. And that show also just really had a great initial element to it, where I think this is up there with low key, dark horse show of the year, because not just of the jellyfish, like I'm not just talking jam of the year, the initial, what are the first few songs on here? We're talking about
Yeah, let me get back to it.
Wakaruza,
Wakaruza
There you go.
into Coffee into
and then it's
Possum, like, and there was just like a really cool crowd that
Yeah.
you go
It's
into
kinda
these
perfect.
places and you don't know what you're gonna get, and that one was a vibe. And then the second step, all the
and then
hippies stayed around, dude, and we got real deep.
Speaking of Tube Song from Stanley's Pub, the guys were just like feeling it. They did like a put it in your pocket whole jam. And
The put it in
I
your
got you in my pocket.
Got you in my pocket.
and you
Very
gotta
similar to the Tube Song
You gotta
jam,
have
as a
fun
matter
out
of
there.
fact. I think I'm noticing a theme here because another show on the list is Taos, which featured a 36-minute jellyfish.
Dude, I know.
Which is where Put in Your Pocket and Tube Song were both in.
Do you
Yeah.
think in these smaller venues where you're stretching it out late like that, like you're a little more silly, right? You're a little more
Little more
goofy, a little more
way
willing to
more.
maybe fuck
Yeah.
around.
Totally.
The band is starting at like
100%.
9 p.m. We're playing two
So
sets.
two. So by set two, you're fucking,
Oh, you're
fucking
feeling
around.
You're feeling
100%.
loose.
Yeah.
And for good reason, especially if it's a
course.
hot show. And
That's
you
where
got,
magic happens, though.
Of
Yeah,
course.
and
Yeah.
Exactly.
and you got good people in the crowd
Yeah.
that are engaged, because both of those ideas, which is a funny way to look at it, we didn't come up with Tube Song or Got You in My Pocket jam. Those are
Someone else
crowd
did.
crowd ideas where
Oh.
people were like some dude at Indianapolis, Jack, our homie Jack, that came to a lot of these shows. They shout out to them. They rented a van and drove to Cincy. They drove to Toledo. They're from Indy. They came to the summer tour. They came to the
Shout out.
Midwest tour. And
Tiffany.
Tiffany, yeah, Tiff. Jack, Rooster, all those homies were. Shout out to the.
Gotta
He's
have
got
a
the
rooster in
flag.
crew.
Noodle. Where was I getting at? But he was chanting at one of the shows like Tube Song. So
Play
I was
that
just-
Tube Song.
Yeah, and I just decided to like pick up on it because it was late. It was the second set. And no one was
We're
really
not going to
there.
play the Tube Song.
And I was
We're
like,
just going to
Jimmy
make
plays
one
it
up
to
for
me.
you.
Yeah.
Who was it? Someone was randomly like, "You should do a song that's like, I got you in my pocket."
It
and
was,
we were like,
it was in
okay.
Toledo. Yeah, it was in
Someone
Toledo.
just was like, "You should do a song, got you in my pocket." And then like later that night, we're like, "Cause I got you in my pocket."
Oh, it was in Hagerstown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, we like to, It's fun to take those little ideas from the crowd,
Play into
especially
the
when you're
crowd
on
a
the
bit.
road. So the Roanoke Jellyfish, maybe we listen to a little bit of that. Yeah.
Could. Okay.
Yeah. Just go deep.
I think this is where a good starting point. This is why this one's up there for me. The second jam gets pretty deep.
Yeah, this is some of my favorite RADO.
Can you hear it?
No, we can't hear anything.
Oh.
This is great podcasting right now. Top
Nice.
tier.
Any thoughts, boys?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to listen. Let the.
I mean, it's dreamy.
Fill us in. What are you hearing?
It's dreamy. It's fast tempo. It feels like they're locked in on hyperspace.
Yeah.
And the stars are twinkling.
There we go.
One thing I love about you guys that I've noticed as I see you more and more is how quickly you can flip the switch into hyperspace, and I feel like you're getting quicker and quicker at doing
Yeah.
that too, where it's like we're out there fucking 5 minutes, you know. You seem like you have that lever ready to go, and you're quick to
Yeah.
and flawless in the execution as
I
well.
think we're playing more like if you play more
Melodic.
melodies, you can kind of like do that faster. I feel like because it doesn't feel like you're searching constantly. So when you're all syncing up, it feels like you're cycling through changes more than just like kind of vibing out, and we less vibe out than try to play something.
We spend
like,
way less time in the searching space of like,
Yeah.
oh, what should we do next? What's gonna happen? And
something's happening.
yeah.
Do you ever search for space and then kind of like, hey, this isn't it, switch it, or can you lock into?
This feels like finding the space.
Yeah.
That's what this feels like right now. This
Yeah.
feels like they've really found the
Yeah.
right space, and the canvas is just like reopened up,
Yeah.
and they can just Christopher Walken shout out, explore the space.
Explore the space. Yeah, we're finding. I mean, in this jam specifically right now, we're finding like I'm playing this pretty repetitive
Major.
melody that's super major that everybody's getting into, and we basically
feels
play this
good.
for another like I don't know 10 minutes. Like this kind of idea, we're bouncing around it, but what ends up happening, I think, especially when we're jamming and when I have jams like this that are my favorite jams and they're the most extended ones, is it's usually somebody does create a melody that's like the song in the jam, where it's like, this is the song template. Here's the A section of the song in the jam and the improv, and then somebody will create a B section.
Yeah.
And then if we end up back at the A section after like a deep kind of like peak or build up or something like that, people just lose their mind
there's
to
a
it.
blueprint, but you dance
Yeah.
around the blueprint.
Yeah, Trey.
adding
I mean, Trey's
textures.
so good at that. That's one of my favorite things about Fish. He brings back that melody at the top and the bottom of the jam often, and I just go crazy.
Yeah. From a visual perspective too, melody locking onto themes, it really it makes it easy to light these guys up, because you can do a certain color or a certain pattern at a certain time and then layer that back in over time. And watching that all to come together is like when it really clicks. Like that's, what I want to be able to do for these guys is just make their music feel and
You're bringing it to life,
and
yeah.
look even cooler.
Yeah.
And when we can, like, because I know their sound and these songs so well, when we're all locked in on that night, like we were in Roanoke, it's like that I think the crowd feels it too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it
it's
goes
in the
from
recording.
goes from just a concert to more of an experience, a production. It feels larger than just
Multi-sensory.
exactly. Some other candidates we had here. The Freebird Jam in Evergreen got a lot of love.
People love that one.
Freebird kind of always plays or doesn't, depending on your thoughts. But
Such a like cheat code song.
It
People
is.
just love it.
yeah,
It's kind of one of those where I'm like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. I'm a freak.
yeah.
Like, I hate this song.
Yeah, I hate this song.
Just yell it to myself. I'm actually obsessed with this song. I just pounded 3 Coors Lights. And I'm ready for the guitar solo.
Also, like I feel like you can kind of, when you get to this shred space where you just let it go and you kind of get to that Freebird guitar solo moment, you can easily kind of switch the pedal and change where your fingers are on the frets, and then all of a sudden we're there.
Yeah.
And it just works, and people lose their fucking
It's
minds.
it's a lot more on the right hand than the left.
I don't
hand
know what I'm
just
talking
playing.
about.
No, I get
Can
you.
you tell I can't play guitar?
No, you kind of get it. A lot more on the right. The right hand is just speed comes
Yeah,
from
let's-
the picking hand.
Let's talk about this final show. I think we'll
Yeah,
call this
Globe.
maybe the show of the year in a lot of ways.
I think so. It was my outside of Roanoke and that Jellyfish Jam. I mean, I listened to all these shows today. Just I want to school myself up, and that's
course.
probably where I came up with this new resolution. Because although a lot of these shows are like super sick, there are points of them where I'm just like, man, I just wish it was just like I was playing a little less notes and it was just record like, and
Everyone's their own
everybody
worst
has
critic.
those moments for sure. But
Yeah.
it's that recording piece and
But
hearing
it's like
it back.
watching film. It helps you to kind of
Right.
like,
So it's cool to just know that people
Truth.
have all these thoughts about these shows and have these moments like you're talking about where Lush mentioned the Dale K-Tao show when we were in Taos, and we just had like a really memorable night with that crew of people, and we hung out at their Airbnb, and we were just there for like, I don't know, until like 5 a.m. I remember playing 50 Cent on the way there to Benny's loving enjoyment.
Much to his chagrin.
But to kind of tie it all together, this Globe Hall show, dude, it records and listens back like incredible.
And
I love every moment of it. It's
the
hard to find a
energy
moment
that
that's
night.
like, we're off a little, you know?
Yeah.
And it felt like a huge moment. I mean, this was a RADO headliner. It was I think our first time playing an AEG venue in Denver,
No,
where we were the
Lost Lake is
where we
one.
were the head. Okay, I guess.
It was the
yeah,
next step.
Yeah, next
Yeah.
step.
Yeah.
had a great show at Lost Lake. Got the opportunity to do Globe Hall. Wanted to step up and crush that.
with incredible support as well. Some other friends from Denver.
Sonic
And
Souls.
the biggest, our own big Denver headliner with Dietz since he joined the band.
Exactly.
Because we really had time to curate a set, practice a lot with him, and put a lot of intention into it. And so it was really kind of putting our best foot forward as our new version of ourselves. And so
in our hometown. Yeah, it felt huge.
Yeah.
It was the start of sort of this progression that it feels like you guys are on now with the Photon show on January 3rd. And if I could put it in, obviously it's so close timeline wise, like, but boy, this is going to be on the list for next year, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. The Bluebird.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Globe.
Dietz played out of his mind this night. I thought, like, specifically, I thought he played so tight.
Yep.
And, I feel like a lot of people probably put pressure on the drummer because he's the new part of the band where they're, coming to, like, be like, all right, I love RADO.
This
I know
was
I
his
love these.
debut
So,
to a
like,
lot of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he really delivered.
And I heard a lot of like longtime RADO fans say that everything really clicked for them that night.
Yeah, where it's like,
True.
it's good. It's,
And
We're
it's
all
cool
gonna be
to,
okay.
when you feel it, and then you're looking around and everybody in the room is like giving that back to you. That's the moment.
Yeah, the energy was there that night, I thought. Late into the night, dance party, not a phone in sight, nobody like doing anything else other than completely
Yeah, people
locked
were
in.
engaged, dude.
It was a dance party too, dude. I mean, like
Yeah.
people were moving.
Yeah.
It was a great night.
People were getting down. Those are my favorite shows. When
Yeah.
I see the whole crowd just
sure.
kind of
Yeah, for
really
sure.
enjoying it. And again, it's like the Jellyfish from here to coffee beans. Like Jellyfish was on another level in 2025.
Song of the year?
Yes, I think
Song
it's
of the
I
year.
think it's
Song
gotta
of the
be.
year.
I
It's
mean,
like
based
that
off
song-
of the fact that it's in all these shows. And
That
Yeah.
song is
And
y'all's fucking tweezer.
Yeah.
It's your helicopters.
Yep.
It's your
yeah, it's one of those ones.
Yep. That's that one's always gonna hit.
Yeah. Should we play a little bit of it as we go
Let's go.
out and
Yeah.
wrap
Yeah,
things
and then
up?
we'll wrap things up.
Maybe do the middle of it, like 5 minutes in.
Of the original one, yeah, the 20.
Yeah.
2025, baby.
2025
minutes in,
was a hell of a year.
2.5 times speed, minus in the rewind.
Turn it up. There we go.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone for
Yeah,
joining
we got
the cast.
RADCast, baby.
We back.
2025 years
Cheers,
in
boys.
review.
We are back. Cheers,
guys.
Shout out to
Cheers,
Logan,
dude.
Nice to be
Camera
with
Jam
you.
Studios.
Thank you.
Thank you,
everybody.
Logan.
Big
Thanks for
things,
having us, guys.
everybody.
Big things in 2026.
Let's
Thanks,
do
guys.
it.
We'll see you guys out there on the road.
This is-
Pocket therapy on the way. I'm sad you guys can't hear it. I know. I didn't realize that.
That was fun, man.
Yeah, that was fun. I could talk about that for
I definitely could easily double the roof as a podcast. I would probably go on
Yeah.
I